Hi, Redland. I am excited to share with you that we have 11 different students in our church who are graduating high school this year. As you know, this has been an interesting year for everyone, but if you think particularly of our graduates, there are things that they were looking forward to that they could not do. Well, one thing that we could do is a special set of interviews. I've sat down with as many graduates as possible to interview them and get some of their thoughts and impact. I hope that it's a blessing to you as it was for me. What school are you graduating from?
Richard Montgomery High School.
Damascus High School.
Gruder High School.
Richard Montgomery High School.
Watkins Mill.
Northwest High School.
I am homeschooled.
Washington Christian Academy.
Graduating from Gaithersburg High School.
What is one thing that God is teaching you during our coronavirus quarantine?
That you just simply have to have faith and trust in Him. And that even if we don't know what the next day will bring, that He will always be there for us.
To trust His ways.
To be patient, and that even though the future is uncertain, He's been keeping me and my family safe, and even when things feel like they might be going awry, there's always some support, and we're always being uplifted even in these hard times.
Stay disciplined, because during this quarantine, earlier I was pretty disciplined, right? And then later I just got lazy.
Never to give up, no matter how difficult it is, even if you don't get your stuff done in one.
Definitely to be patient and to understand that not everything is in your control. That's been really hard for me just to wait, but I think with God's guidance and stuff, I've been praying a lot more. Been really diving into my Bible. I did a study on Philippians recently, and I think it's just really waiting is what I need to work on the most.
It's patience. So there's obviously a lot of things that everyone's been waiting for, and we just kind of have to put our lives on hold almost. So yeah, definitely patience is one of them.
I think He's been teaching us to not worry so much about what's going on outside. Ever since the quarantine, I've had to be closer to my family. At first it was kind of annoying, and I was just man, I miss going to school. And now I'm just it's not so bad.
He's shown me that no matter how much you plan for something, you can't always plan something perfectly in life, because there's always going to be unexpected things like obstacles in your way, and you're just going to have to figure out how to move past them. You can't avoid them, and you can't always plan everything perfectly.
How do you think high school seniors this year are being uniquely shaped by these COVID-19 circumstances?
This whole thing made us especially aware of the little things in life, and not to take those for granted. Cherishing those small little moments.
They have more time to spend with God than they ever had during their high school career.
The circumstances are just another way that our generation is really being brought up to be resilient and strong in the face of tragedies, and just to be able to be positive even though situations might not be going the way that we expect them to be or want them to be.
The class of 2020 has really been through, a lot. The past, we were born into right after 9/11, so it was pretty rough. And all through school we would hear about these tragedies, and we're going out with another one. So I feel it just kept us resilient. Now we we're braced for anything.
It's a different experience.
Since we're all kind of in this transition period of our life, kind of going from high school to college or wherever we're going after graduation, we're kind of having those last experiences of high school being cut short, or just missing out on them altogether, prom or graduation for a lot of people.
Not only is it the virus, but there's the incidents with the police and everything going on, but it's just a lot at once, but you just got to persevere. 2020 so far, it's just when we go in the future and we look back, it's just well, it's not as bad as my graduation year. I can get through this.
right before we kind of go out into the real world, we're being taught that the same thing where you can't always plan for the future. And I think it definitely helps us understand that we have to expect the unexpected sometimes in life.
What is your next academic or career step after you graduate?
I'll be attending Parsons School of Design, which is in New York City, and majoring in fashion design.
I'm going to Montgomery College for 2 years, and then I'm hopefully going to transfer to Towson University. And then after that, hopefully I can find a animation company to work with.
Well, I'll be attending American University in Washington, D.C., and I'm majoring in legal studies. So I plan to study law, and I plan to go to law school after getting my bachelor's degree.
Going to Roanoke College in Salem, Virginia.
Depends on what God wants me to do.
Attending Towson University, and I'm majoring in speech-language pathology.
I plan on getting I have to get into nursing school, so once I turn 18, I can go take the NCLEX or NCLEX entrance exam.
So I'm planning in the fall to go to Frostburg State University, and I'm planning on majoring in elementary education.
Share about your favorite passage of scripture and why you like it.
Philippians 4:13, which is like, I can do all things through him who gives me strength. Being able to have that strength to like persevere through any given circumstance that like God leads us to follow.
Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Knowing that God strengthens me, it really helps me, especially when I'm scared.
Proverbs 31:25, which is, she is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future. And I just think it speaks to me because I am a young woman in a new part of my life, and it showed me as I read it that as a Christian, I have strength and I have dignity to achieve my goals, and I don't need to fear about the future.
When anxiety was great within me, your consolation brought me joy. God always finds a way to, bring me back up, build me up, make me become stronger.
God's always got your back.
It's Philippians 4:6-7. So it's do not be anxious about anything, but in everything with prayer and petition and with thanksgiving present your requests to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. There's really no reason to be anxious or stressed out about anything because God's in control, and if you ask him, he will give you that peace.
Is 2 Corinthians 4:16-18. It says, therefore we do not lose heart, though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. So we fix our eyes on not what is seen, but what is unseen. Since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. And I think that these verses are really applicable right now, but also just any time in life when you're facing a struggle, because it just tells you to keep moving forward and that there's always going to be a greater purpose.
What are some special youth ministry memories that you have?
And then I get a text from my brother, and he was just like, we need one more person before we can pie Redland in the face. And so after covers are finished, I walked over, and then you could hear everybody cheering from outside. Then I walked in, and everybody was all happy because I got to pie you in the face.
I loved being in the praise band. And I also loved getting to help with the camps.
Going to Recharge that first year, the whole, Frogman, Scare Sam, paintball, getting, it was a great introduction.
Some of my favorite memories would have to be World Changers and Recharge, of course. I feel like those are pretty great times for everyone. And also RBC camp and sports camp, but also just coming to Fuel every week. Because Fuel is just a very positive environment, and I genuinely look forward to coming even when we just have it on Zoom. And I especially enjoy small group time with Miss Lagos. She's really wise and caring, and I appreciate her lessons every week, and she can also joke around with us, which makes everything just more fun and engaging.
Upwards, CBA, growing with teammates, playing basketball was super fun.
When you broke your water bottle, that's one of them.
Waves of Grace, especially going like on bell festivals and things like that. Just having a fun time with my friends and, making music, which is one of the things that I love to do.
Waves of Grace, singing for God, it was great.
Sang Sudo. I did that for like maybe a year or two. Then I remember I broke my first board. And then, so the Tang Sudo was like one of my favorite things I did.
Yeah, Fuel. Fuel is amazing. I loved Fuel. And, being able to get closer to God through the youth group was great.
I was with Phil doing the tech stuff.
When we went to World Changers in Muncie, Indiana.
I haven't been in a while, but I'll always remember the youth retreat that I went to. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I made some special memories, and I met new people, and I also just learned a lot on that trip, and I thought it was really fun.
What advice would you give to your 7th grade self?
To just kind of branch out and just start talking with other people, because it's with the youth ministry that I'll have memories that I'll cherish and friends that I'll have for a lifetime.
Say to not be such a perfectionist.
I would tell my 7th grade self to just be herself, because that's something I didn't really learn until my freshman year of high school.
I would just tell 7th grade Sam to, humble yourself, relax.
Don't give up. Always stick to it, because if you don't, it's going to be hard.
Don't expect too much of yourself. Don't expect perfection, and it's okay to make mistakes. Obviously try your best, but don't worry if your best isn't good enough or doesn't reach a certain standard, because it's still your best and that's all you can do.
I would have told myself about painting shoes and selling shoes, since I started doing that in 9th grade. Back in 7th grade, I was still kind of just messing around with art. I was okay at it, but I didn't really, embrace it.
Just keep moving on, and remember that any issues that happen, any obstacles in your way are very temporary, and not to dwell on small things. Just keep moving on.
Whom do you want to thank for getting you where you are now?
First, my parents, because they've always supported me. They've just been supportive of me the whole way. And then I'd also like to thank you and Hugh, because
Wow.
you don't usually hear that. You guys are really childish and you make us laugh all the time, but you also have the times where you're down to earth and really genuine and sincere and wanting to help us and guide us. And I really wanted to thank you guys.
I'd like to thank my parents and especially my friends as well. Especially now with this whole COVID thing.
I'd really like to thank my family for always supporting me through my entire high school career, from dealing with me while I was stressing for AP exams 3 years in a row, or waking up at 7 a.m. to drive me to the SAT, staying late at my mock trial competitions. I really couldn't have gotten through high school without them. And I'd also like to thank my friends at Redland for being supportive and fun.
Obviously, my parents, they really helped me in my spiritual journey. The church, they've really been nice to me, making joking with me. Everyone there was so nice. My friends, especially everyone in my grade, having those small group talks, us being open with each other, because we're I love those guys.
The whole Freeman family, including the C's, Warfields, Gramps. He was a great influence in what I did.
Obviously, my parents have just always been supporting me and raising me in such a loving home, and that goes for the rest of my family as well. All of my friends who've always encouraged me, and especially in the youth ministry, just kind of building me up and growing together. And then obviously just my church family in general, being able to teach me and guide me, and just being a part of a church since I was born.
Definitely want to thank my mom, because I know she's done a lot, and she's looked out for me all my life, of course.
my family and friends, I feel like they've always motivated me. It's sometimes hard to stay motivated, but there were always people that motivated me through that, and I'm really thankful for them.
What excites you most about the future?
The different opportunities that I'll have, both growing as a Christian and both kind of growing in the field and like experiencing different opportunities in like the fashion industry.
The ability to have a job that allows me to do what I want to do.
The new opportunities, especially living in the city, are going to be very interesting for me. I'm really excited for what the future holds for me in DC, but I'm also comforted knowing that I'm close to home.
Independence excites me because I want to know how I'll be, by myself, see if I've actually grown.
And I can actually pick a job that I might do that well in.
Living on my own and kind of just experiencing new opportunities and meeting new people and just being in that fresh environment.
Just being an adult, making choices and having options. I'm not really looking forward to more responsibility, but with the responsibility, there's more freedom. So there's that.
To have new opportunities and kind of go out on my own a little bit and just start learning about, being more responsible and having more responsibilities.
Graduates, I want to let you know that I am proud of you and your church family is proud of you. We love you. We are praying for you. We can't wait to see what God does through you. And Redland, if you would like to, feel free to encourage our graduates. They would love to have a note from you, just some kind of way to go dropped in the mail, however you might contact them. Let them know that you'll be praying for them.